Well, a whole lot of topics I want to get through in this panel. Today too, the director of the Wuhan Institute of Virology has hit back at notions COVID-19 originated in their laboratory, labelling it as pure fabrication. And of course, it comes on the back of claims from a professor of medicine at Adelaide's Flinders University, Nicholas Reece, saying that it could be and should be considered as a possibility that the virus originated in a lab. Now, Professor Reece will soon start a whole round of vaccine trials using human volunteers, so he's well placed to have a view on the origins of this virus. Time for the panel. Melbourne City Councillor Nick Reece and Sky News Outsiders co-host, Herald Sun columnist Rita Panahi, joining me from Melbourne. I want to start there on this issue. Highly credible, this professor, Rita, highly credible claims too that it's a lab originating virus. What's your thoughts?
Look, I think most of the medical opinion has been that it wasn't created in a lab. It may have very well escaped from a lab inadvertently, but there's not too much medical opinion that it was created. It's a man-made thing. And the doctor here doesn't believe that's the case. He just says it's a possibility. So I think I'm of the belief that either this escaped from the biolab in Wuhan or it was created in the wet market. Either way, I don't think that's the critical thing. The critical thing is how this was mishandled and covered up at the beginning and allowed to spread throughout the world.
And look, that's the reason why they didn't want an inquiry. The Chinese Communist Party didn't want an inquiry. I want to go into Hong Kong too, Nick, because over the weekend things really sort of got hot again. Protests, we saw thousands and thousands on the street, tear gas, water cannons being used to disperse protesters, all on the back of China's plans to impose new national security laws on the cities. These protesters are calling this draft legislation an evil law. What do you think?
Look, I think the protesters are probably right. I mean, the original extradition laws which sparked these protests originally went against the one country, two systems policy that China originally committed to. We've seen the unrest being used by China to gradually clamp down on liberties in Hong Kong. Groups of 8 people aren't allowed to gather now. They've passed new laws making people be respectful while the Chinese national anthem is playing. It's common for people to boo when the anthem gets played at sporting and major public events in Hong Kong. And then on the weekend we saw Tam Tak Chai, well-known democracy campaigner in Hong Kong, actually arrested. So things are deteriorating very badly in Hong Kong, and the Chinese should know that the eyes of the world are on them here. And what's more, Hong Kong is one of the most successful trading places in the world, and it will ultimately be to the harm of China if they continue in this direction.